Transcorp Power PLC, power subsidiary of Transnational Corporation PLC, which is Transcorp Group, has listed its shares via introduction on the main board of the Nigerian exchange, adding more than 1.8 trillion to the market cap of the NGX, further boosting liquidity in the Nigerian capital market. That was day one of trading. Transcorp gained 10% on the first day of trading, was up another 9.9 on the second day of trading, closing at 319 naira 40 kobo. Trading, of course, has opened up today. We'll see how it does at the end of trading today. We're very happy to have Dr. Owen Omogiafo, Group CEO, Transcorp PLC, the mighty conglomerates with us this morning. Good morning, Owen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Rotus.
Talk about the significance of this listing, what it means to the company, the everyday Nigerian. Speak your mind.
So thank you, Rotus.
Yeah.
I think let me start with what it means to the everyday Nigerian, because that's what Transcorp is about, improving lives and transforming societies, transforming Africa. What this listing means to the everyday Nigerian is an access to be a part of a company that is so fundamental to the economic transformation of our country. Power touches everybody. No matter who you are, where you are, power touches you. And with this listing, we have more transparency in the company, there's more information, and you can also be a part of the company by being a shareholder. Thus, you can attend the annual general meetings, a lot of information about the company is public. You get to know more about the power sector, the highs, the lows, what is the outlook, and you can engage with people. So what does this mean for people is like we are enabling our environment. Like you said, we've added 1.8 trillion cap at the day of listing to the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So what does this mean? Again, looking at how the investors have responded to the listing, it shows that Nigeria is a viable market. We have a strong economy, we have a strong stock exchange, and people can come on. So yes, that's really exciting for us.
Fantastic. Do you think this will encourage more companies in the electricity sector to list on the exchange?
I hope it does.
Yeah.
Right? I hope it does, because indeed, when you navigate a path that is not so traveled, it lets other people to see. And when people look at Transcorp has a rich history of over 20 years. We have a rich history, we have a track record, and because Transcorp PLC itself is listed, our hospitality subsidiary Transcorp Hotels is listed, and we've seen what has happened. We operate with high level of transparency, high level of corporate governance, and the impact of what we've been doing over the years is very clear to all to see. So if other companies see that Transcorp, a conglomerate, a holding company, has taken one of its subsidiaries to the market, I really want to believe that when they see what we do with this, it would encourage others, just as we've been leaders in other sectors.
Fantastic. I mean, look, you have been part of a story that is, in my opinion, the most important to Nigeria, which is power, because it just flows through everywhere. So, and Transcorp has been part of the headlines now on the good side of the power story. Unfortunately, there's another side to this story, which is this blackout that happened at the National Assembly that essentially just shut down their activities for a number of minutes. The value chain and the challenges that we're facing to not see this in the future, how do you think we can fix these power issues that we're facing?
So, Rhodes, I think this is a very fantastic and strategic question. And I'll tie it into the listing. Yeah. And just broadly, how we need to think as Nigeria and how we need to operate as Nigerians. We talk about Afro-capitalism, and that's the private sector's role in the transformation and development of our society and our continent, Africa. The power sector was privatized about 10 years ago, and we're one of those who came in. And since we came in, we've brought in additional investments into the sector. The reality is that we really cannot, government is unable to do everything. That's just the reality. Government can provide the services and, more importantly, create the enabling environment for private sector to thrive, just as we see in the development, the first world countries and the rest of them, we see it. Is that a kind of environment that we're looking for? Is there a power issue on the continent? True, there is. Do we have a power issue in Nigeria? Indeed, we do. We have installed capacity in the country of over 13,000 megawatts, but of which we are generating about 5,000, which means that there is a gap even in the capacity that we have versus what we are actually doing. And there are different ways to address that gap. If I look at the thermal system, which is what we operate in, there's thermal, there's hydro, and there's renewable. Look at the thermal system that we operate in. There is a gas shortage today. But while there's a gas shortage, Nigeria is also one of the top countries with gas deposits. So we look at listings like this. Yes, the whole world today is moving away from, because of this energy transition discussion, you'll find that there's less funds available for oil and gas development. But when companies come to the market, just like we've done, you have access to the capital market. And you have access to the capital market, you have people who understand what you're doing. They understand the challenges that you're facing, but perhaps even more important, they are committed to the vision of success for your country that you are looking for beyond just rent making and profit taking. So you can get those funds, look at your gas infrastructure, invest in it, bring out the resources that you need from the ground, channel it into your generation plant, produce more power, and you can also just take it a bit further into the transmission. Because within the Electricity Act, there are a lot of things that have come up that have further liberalized the sector. And our regulator, NERC, they are also working a whole lot more with us to see how we get power to that last mile user. Fact, our infrastructure is old. Yes, there's been a lot of investment in the past few years, but the gap is very big. But when you have more active, more concerted, more empowered engagement or involvement by private sector users, and of course everyone, the general Nigerian public, we should pay for the power that we are getting. Let's stop with the power theft, the vandalization of the public assets, infrastructure, and understand that when you cut an electric cable somewhere or you destroy a substation, you are affecting others because it's a connected grid.
Yep.
So these are the things that we all need to do. And rest assured, do we believe as Transcorp Group that we can fix this power? We do, we strongly believe, and I want to tell you that we're very committed to doing this, and this, our listing of Transcorp Power PLC, is that commitment, is a testament of that commitment of what we're trying to do, and we plan to position Transcorp Power as a pivotal change agent in the power sector space.
Amen to that. I mean, we have the stats on the screen. There are only 5 million or so metered customers in Nigeria, so that number definitely needs to grow. I want to ask you about another matter, because again, power has just been dominating the headlines. The IMF released their Article 4 mission to Nigeria, and they said about 3% of GDP would be cut. Well, actually, it would cost Nigeria about 3% of GDP by maintaining fuel and electricity subsidies. Mr. Adelabu, Power Minister, has said that Nigeria needs to have cost-reflective tariffs so that players like yourself in the power sector, will be able to recoup, what you're investing in gas and so on and so forth. But on the other side, we've seen fuel subsidies partially removed. The president and others have said that, well, if you remove electricity subsidies or, fully deregulate the downstream sector, you will inflict more hardship on Nigerians. But you've mentioned the Electricity Act. We need more investments here. So I guess it's a delicate matter of, I want to find out where you stand on this. Getting cost-reflective tariffs, removing subsidies so that players like yourself can provide power, to more Nigerians, or being worried about what removing electricity subsidies would do to the average Nigerian. I know it's tough, but someone has to address this at some point. Yeah.
So Rotus, you're on fire this morning.
I'm sorry. It's just one.
I think again, I'm glad we're talking about these topical issues. If you look around the world, social aid is provided across. Yeah. We have branded our subsidy. I really don't think it's realistic to think that it's a one-size-fits-all for everyone. And we are now starting on the right path. Because what's been like some of the challenges we have with our subsidy? We're subsidizing everybody across. Rotus, why should you buy petrol at a subsidized rate?
Good question.
Why should I buy petrol at a subsidized rate? Why should you buy power at a subsidized rate? Why should I buy power at a subsidized rate? So what we should be looking at is to ensure that we have put the right pricing for the product. Then we can now provide relief for those who are truly and genuinely unable to pay the right pricing. Because you see, you must. I mean, in basic accounting, right? When you're doing discount accounting, when you're pulling up your invoice, you write the actual price of what the cost was bought, the cost of the good. Then you now say discount 10%.
Right.
You write it and you see what the final net income to you is. Yeah. So that's what we need to just look at. Allow the right price to be there. Have a strong database, a clean, trustworthy database that can let you know who are those in genuine need. Apply the reliefs to those people that need it. Then Those that don't have need, please charge them full. And with that, you'll see that we're able to build the economy at a stronger pace. We're able to create improve investor confidence, because no investor really wants to hear that the market is built on subsidy. They want to see, but at the same time, they want a balance. ESG is a strong factor for everyone today, global and local investors alike, because that's the sustainability of your business. But you don't want to build the entire, you want to see what are you doing for the people down the chain that cannot afford this thing. Because one thing they do have a right to is dignity. They have a right to dignity, and that's where we come in and we say, look, those that can afford, please pay. Look at what has been done with taxes. You'll find that the SMEs and those that have a certain revenue below a mark, you see the tax shelter, tax relief that has been given to them. Yeah. And those at the upper end, that's what has been done. We need to look at this kind of approach as well and see how we apply to the different subsidies. And there are also subsidies that we don't even think of, things that even education, everybody goes to university and we pay the same thing, no matter what your economic power is. So that's going to be, in summary, is you can't do away with providing relief to those who need it. Yeah? But at the same time, have a clean database where you're able to know those that can afford and let them pay the price. We should have a proper pricing mechanism for this thing, and then we back out reliefs as necessary.
Fair enough. Strong point there. Okay, so I'll move to hospitalities again, another sector that you're in. We all know about the Transcorp Hotel, of course, in Abuja, and all the other subsidiaries that you're building and so on. With where the exchange rate is at $1,500 level, 1,500 naira to the dollar, inflation, so on and so forth. Does this deter people from traveling overseas? Do you think that gives you talked about staycation. I think when I ran into you in Abidjan.
Yes.
So are you poised to take advantage of that?
We are. Yeah? Extremely. I see, I should amuse you. This morning I was taking my daughter to school. I was like, oh, mom, I said, child, we are doing staycation this year.
in
We're doing it in Nigeria because this is the reality.
Yeah.
The exchange rate has pushed up the prices of tickets. But perhaps we'll also have an opportunity to make new discoveries like we did during COVID. COVID became a positive opportunity for those businesses that were able to navigate the uncertainties of it. And our Transcorp Hilton Hotel in Abuja is more than poised to take on that staycation opportunities for people to recognize, enjoy, and appreciate what happens within our country. And supported by the Aura by Transcorp Hotels platform, what it does is that it pulls together experiences that you see, things that you typically might not know about. I have discovered restaurants through that platform. I've discovered spots I could just go to relax. That maybe I may not have seen it, but I follow them on their social media platform, and I keep seeing different things, beautiful waterfall, and these are the things we'll now use. Of course, hospitality and domestic tourism need certain enabling environment to further develop it. We look at our infrastructure. Imagine there was a speed train from Lagos to Abuja.
Exactly.
Speed train, the way you have speed trains abroad, right? You have a speed train from Lagos to Abuja. You will go. You can go and come back same day, go and do what you want to do. You come back. We look at our security infrastructure, ensuring that I'm getting on the train, I'm going to go, have fun, come back. We would just build our country in a very amazing and interesting way where we are able to very much optimize all the assets that we have. Nigeria has a rich history. I am from Edo State, Benin. We go to London, UK, Bath, you go and look at Stonehenge, a bunch of stones put together. We pay a lot of money. We go to the Bath, look at the old things. We travel to China, look at the Great Walls of China. Benin had the moats, the walls. We had Enrijesha, Olumo Rock, Zuma Rock, the Badagry slave village, and so many places that we can indeed package properly and give to those who are lovers of history. And let's not forget even Lagos, our huge expanse of beach. What is Maldives compared to what we have in Lagos? So yes, very strongly, our hospitality, we're poised to be that home away from home, that your Dubai within Nigeria, because we have a lovely facility, lovely pool, amazing food, and even more amazing staff to make your stay more than what you dreamed of.
Owen Omogiafo, Group CEO of Transcorp PLC, thank you so much for joining us. We ran out of time. It's International Women's Day on Friday. I wanted to ask you about that, but maybe we'll come to your office and get a recorded clip so you can inspire women on Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. Talk about power hospitality. Really appreciate you.
Thank you very much.